session, we studied two types of calculations. We studied how we could convert or how we could find the mass relationship in moles in reactants to moles of products and vice versa. Okay, so we know how to convert from mole to mole. Then we studied another time, which is converting mole to mass. Okay, so we are going to continue the other types of calculations, but before we start, we need to revise and check what we understood last session. So here, guys, pay attention, and if you know the answers, you just raise your hand. So here, let's find. When magnesium burns in air, it combines with oxygen to form magnesium oxide according to the following equation. And he already gave you this chemical equation already. So as we said, always in stoichiometry problems, we must start by balanced chemical equation. So the first step is already provided for you, and he wrote to you the balanced chemical equation. So what mass in grams of magnesium oxide is produced from 2 mole of magnesium reacts? Okay, so here, who can tell me or how we can answer this kind of problem? You will need to ask how many grams of magnesium oxide, how many grams of magnesium oxide is gonna be produced once there is 2 moles of magnesium are reacted. So who can answer this, guys? If you know, just raise your hand, guys. No one? Guys, please. Yes, Tadros, could you? Guys, the one who's going to call his name and he will not respond, actually, I'm going to kick him out. So, again, could you please try in this problem? He asked you what is the mass in grams of magnesium oxide is produced, okay, from 2 mole of magnesium. That means how much grams of magnesium oxide will be produced once there is 2 moles of magnesium are going to react. So, how we could solve this problem? To know that the mass of magnesium equal 24, okay, the mass of oxygen equals 16, okay, gram. So I give you the givens.
24 equals 16 يبقى 2 will produce how much micros?
So tell me the steps. What we're gonna write? What the first step? Yeah.
24 yes.
He asked
24.
you. What about 24? We asked him first how many magnesium oxide is gonna be produced. This 24 represents what? 2 moles will be produced. So we said that 2 mole of magnesium, they are gonna produce 2 mole of magnesium oxide. Yes or no? So like this 2 mole of that will so in that case that means 1 mole of magnesium, 1 mole of magnesium that will produce 1 mole of magnesium oxide. Okay, so like this here, if we have 2 mole here, how many is gonna be produced? They are gonna produce 2. So let's find the amount. 1 mole of magnesium oxide, 1 mole of magnesium oxide equal how much grams? Okay, sorry, MgO. So it's 24 plus 16. It's equal 40 grams. So that's 1 mole. And we said that 2 moles of magnesium produce how many? They produce 2, so they are 40 multiplied 2 equal 80 grams. You got an idea, guys?
Yes.
Is it clear, guys?
Yes, miss.
Okay, let's find number 2. Who can answer number 2? What mass of glucose can be produced from the photosynthesis reaction that occurs by using 10 moles of carbon dioxide? Who can answer this one, guys? What mass of glucose can be produced from photosynthesis by reaction of 10 mole of carbon dioxide? No one? So, Haya, could you help us?
I don't know.
Let's try. Figure, first step, we find the mole ratio. How many moles of carbon dioxide produce how many moles of glucose? Could you tell me? Regarding to the equation in front of you, how many moles of carbon dioxide producing how many mole of glucose?
Two.
Here we're getting how many mole of carbon dioxide we have here?
6.
6. So we have 6 mole of carbon dioxide. They could produce how many mole of glucose?
We'll add them يعني.
No. How many moles here? One. No, zero. How zero? That's one. There is no number. It means one mole.
Sorry.
So here it produced 1 mole of glucose. Then he asks you now, you need to know the amount of the glucose that produced by 10 mole of carbon dioxide. So if I have 10 mole of carbon dioxide, how much the amount of moles of glucose will be produced? Cross multiplication. 10 multiply 1 divided by 6. Yes or no?
6.
So
Yes.
that means it will be about 1.25 mole. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
Then that's the number of moles. Does he ask about moles? No, he asked about grams. How many grams? He asked about the mass. So we must convert these moles into grams.
Grams.
So how we could convert? First we find 1 mole of glucose equal how many gram? So here let's find the carbon mass equal 12 gram, the hydrogen mass equal 1 gram, and the oxygen equals 16. So let's try to find how much the mass of 1 mole of glucose. So carbon is 12, that means 6 multiply 12, okay, plus then we have 12 hydrogen, that means 12 multiply 1 plus 16 multiplied by 6, okay. So how much is it? Okay, how much is it, guys?
1 minute.
300.
No, 300, that's too much. Actually, that's 72 plus 12, okay, plus 96. So overall, I think they are gonna be, that's 8, and the 8 with the 10, 9, 180. Yes? Is 180 true? Guys, yes, so 180 gram, okay. So like this, they are 180 grams. So what about, okay, 1.25, okay. So we're gonna make a cross multiplication, 1.25 multiply, okay, by 180 divided by 1, and so on. Is it hard like this, guys?
No.
Okay. So actually, guys, okay, like that we could find, that's how we could solve the problem, okay, that's how we make the kind of conversion from mole to mole or from mole to mass. Today we're gonna pass to the third type, okay, which is converting mass to an okay, amounts in moles. So here, let's see. In this kind of the chemical reaction, or in this kind of conversions, okay, or that kind of problems, first he will give you the amount of a substance in grams, and then he asks you to find the amount of the unsubstance in moles, okay. So how we could solve this problem? Simple. We are gonna find this grams represented how many mole. Then we find the mole ratio between the substances. We can understand. Let's find the idea. The idea here, let's take a look to the problem and start to work on it. He first that an ammonia and H3, okay, react with oxygen to produce nitrogen oxide and water, okay. So this chemical equation is not balanced. So the first step that we should do, that we should balance the chemical equation, okay. Who can balance this chemical equation, guys? Who can balance this chemical equation? Balancing chemical equation, we keep talking about balancing more than 4 sessions. Suppose that everyone know how to balance a chemical equation, guys. So who could balance this chemical equation? عبد الرحمن وليد. عبد الرحمن وليد. Guys, I can't understand why you didn't respond while I'm talking. Okay, you just attend the session like sleeping. Okay, people, you just attend and never one each session like that. You don't never participate at all, even if we keep repeating the same info. So why you didn't share, guys? You don't care about your marks. You don't care about anything.
Mister, I don't know.
So why you didn't know it? That's just balancing chemical equations. So that's something you already studied in grade 8. We need to balance. Find that the number of atoms in the reactants equal the number of atoms in product. So even you didn't know it, try, practice. Here, how many nitrogen do we have here?
1.
And here?
1.
So no problem about hydrogen, about nitrogen. How many hydrogen do we have here?
3.
And here?
2.
2. So is it balanced? It's not balanced. We should balance. So which side that must be increased?
The product.
So the product must be increased. So what is the coefficient that should I put it here to make the two sides equal? How could I make 2 become 3? What is the number that multiply 2 equal 3?
The fraction.
That's fraction, 1.5, yes? So can we use 1.5 atom?
No.
No, so we are gonna multiply the entire equation by 2 just to, okay, remove this fraction, yes?
Yes.
So what would happen here, okay, we're gonna find this will be 2, 2, and here 2, and this 1.5 multiplied 2, it will be 3, yes or no? Let's check. Now, how many nitrogen do we have?
3.
Nitrogen.
6.
How many nitrogen?
Nitrogen 2. Nitrogen
2. And here, how many nitrogen do we have?
2.
And how many hydrogen do we have?
6.
6. And here, how many hydrogen?
6.
How many oxygen?
2. 4.
They are 4, okay. So, and here we have 2, and that's okay, ready. So, they are balanced. This is hard like this?
No.
Any hard question?
No.
So, like this, that's how we could balance a chemical equation. Let's check that they are equal, okay, or
بس
that's
يا
2.
مستر هو
Yep.
الأكسجين كده مش بالانس.
Why the oxygen is not balanced? Here?
ما هنا 4.
Yep, okay, sorry. Just wait a minute. Okay, so here that's 2 nitrogen. Okay, so this is 3 multiplied. So that's here 3 oxygen, and here 1. So they are 4. Well, they are 2. Yep, okay. So we need to balance the oxygen one more time. So what we're supposed to, if we are just have, so here we have 2, and here we have 5 right now. So how we could make 2 and 5, they are equal. So in that case, we're gonna put here 5. Okay, so they are gonna be 10, and then we're gonna multiply all the equation by 2. So that's here. If I make that 4, 4, and that's 6. Okay, so like this, how many hydrogen do we have?
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen, yes.
4.
4, and here how many nitrogen?
4.
4. Okay, so here they are. Here how many? So that will be 4, just 4. Okay, and here how many hydrogen do we have? They are 12. 4 multiply 3.
12.
Yes. And here how many hydrogen do we have?
12.
Okay, so then here how many oxygen do we have? 4 multiply 2. They are
8.
8. So 4 and 4, they are 8. Is it okay? Good idea. Let's clear it to make it from the beginning. Let's start. Okay, the first step.
بس هي
Yes.
كده برضه مش هتبقى بالانس.
Yes. So let's make it in another way to just here nitrogen. Let's here the reactants and here the products. So the reactants nitrogen just 1, here 1. Then the hydrogen, there are 3 hydrogen in the reactants, while we just have 2 in products. Okay, then we have 2 oxygen in the reactants and just 1 in the products. Yes or no? You agree about this? Yes, Abdurrahman? Abdurrahman?
أيوة يا مستر مش كنت
So,
بنفهم.
okay, so let's try to balance that. We already know how much the amount. So do we have a problem in the hydrogen and oxygen? Okay, so we need to balance it, okay, in that way. So let's try to balance what we should do. Here one nitrogen, three hydrogen, and here just two, and here oxygen. Okay, so let's start to balance, okay, the oxygen. Here two oxygen. So what we should supposed to do, we're gonna put two here, yes? In that case, how many
Yes.
hydrogen we have? Four, and here just
Four.
three. So what the number that we could match between 4 and 3?
4 على 3.
So that's no. 4, okay, 4 over 3. That means 1.3. Okay, actually, that's too much friction. So let's get this. Here we have 4 hydrogen. So what the number that I could get, okay, between 4 and 3, the multiplication between 4 and 3, they are 12. So I'm gonna try to make the two signs equal 12. Okay. So this, to make it the two sides equal 12, what we're supposed to put here?
4.
4. Good. Okay. So we're gonna make it 4. So like this, 4 nitrogen, and here we're gonna put 4 to make 4 nitrogen, 12 hydrogen. So that's supposed to be 6 to be 12 hydrogen. Okay. So like this, how many oxygen do we have? Here 6 and here 4. So they are
10.
So we're gonna put here 5. You get it?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes.
So like this, it's balanced. Yes.
Yes.
So that's the first step. So the first step that we are gonna balance the chemical equation. Now we have a balanced chemical equation like that we could work. He asked, and this reaction is running by using 824 grams of ammonia. So he already gave the amount of ammonia. And the X is oxygen. That means we have plenty of oxygen. We don't care about how much it is. So he asked how many moles of NO are gonna be formed. How many moles will be produced? Okay, so let's think together, Abdurrahman, how we could solve this problem. Okay,
Okay.
let's find. He asked that how many moles will be produced from NO, from that amount, that grams. So first of all, we must find how much this grams represent in moles. Yes or no?
Moles.
So let's
Yes.
try. Tell me, one mole of NH3 equals how many gram? The nitrogen equal 14. Okay, hydrogen equal 1.
ماشي يبقى
Yep. So 1 mole equal
17.
40. Yes, 14 plus 3 multiply 1. So it's equal 17 gram. Good. So equal 17 grams. So that's the 1 mole. Okay. So we asking here, okay, 824 gram. So they will represent how many moles of NH3? So cross multiplication. 824 multiply 1.
48.4.
48.4 mole. Good. So like this, we get the amount of moles in that mass. So
Yes.
then we back to the equation. We're gonna back to the equation. We find for the equation how many moles, okay, of ammonia produce how many moles of so 4 moles of NH3 producing, okay, 4 moles of NO. Yes or no?
Yes.
So how many moles do you have already? They are 8.4. Yes or no? So they're gonna produce how many moles? Cross multiplication. Okay. So actually to the equal, they're gonna produce 8.4 mole. Yes.
Yes.
So is it hard like this?
No.
Could you please answer the second part, B?
Okay.
So tell me what we're gonna do now. He asked on the same amount which we use, the same 824 grams of ammonia, how many moles they are gonna produce from water?
There are 2 hydrogen يعني هتبقى 2 plus.
No, we will not count the mass of water. We need to find the amount of water in moles by using the mass of ammonia. So already this mass of ammonia, the 824 grams, represent how many moles of ammonia?
48.4.
Good. So 48.4. So back to the equation. The 4 moles of ammonia producing how many mole of water?
6.
Good. 4 mole of ammonia producing 6 mole of water. So regarding to this, okay, the amount, the 824 grams, they actually represent 48.4 mole. Yes.
Yes.
So how much moles of water they are going to be produced?
48.4
Multiply.
times 6
Good. Divided by
over 4.
Could you calculate it, please?
72.6.
So 72.6 moles. Is it hard like this?
No.
In hard question?
No.
So it's not that hard. Okay, so we don't get easy. If you look, that's your answers are true. Okay.
Okay.
So they are very easy, okay, or simple way to work. So don't say I don't know and give up easily. Try. You should practice, okay, because just we're gonna have a quiz soon, okay. So you're supposed to be ready. Okay, guys. So the first way. Let's take one more activity here. He said that oxygen was discovered by Joseph Priestley in 1774 when he heated mercury 2 oxide to decompose it forms the constitute element. So how many moles of mercury 2 oxides HgO are needed to produce 125 of gram? Okay, so let's find here, guys. So that's first step what we should do. Who can tell me? Hassan Ruhaim?
Yes, mister.
First step, what the first step we should do?
See, we should know, see how, يعني each mole makes how many grams?
So that means in the beginning, what we should write?
The equation?
The equation. We must write the balance equation to be
Yes.
know what are the products and what are the reactions. So we're gonna write the equation. So help me to write this equation, please. So here, ask oxygen was discovered when he heated mercury, okay, 2 oxide to decompose it. So that means we are gonna break the carbon. So HgO, that is mercury oxide. It will break down into mercury and mercury and
oxygen.
Oxygen, of course. We don't have any other element. Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
is this chemical equation balanced?
No, we should
No.
put 2
2 here. Good.
and 2 before each.
Go. So
Yes.
like this. 2
Like this.
mole. So like this, we make a balanced chemical equation. Brilliant, Hassan. That's the first step. So we said that 2 moles of mercury oxide yields to 2 mole of mercury plus 1 mole of oxygen. So he asks you, how many moles of mercury 2 oxide? That means how many mole of this, okay, are needed to produce 125 grams of oxygen. So first we must turn this mass into
grams.
Grams. Good. So let's find 1 mole of oxygen equal how many gram? The oxygen atom equals 16 gram.
16 gram.
So the oxygen atom. So the mole of oxygen, because its oxygen is O2, so it is 16 multiply.
16 multiply 2.
So good.
Yes.
It equals 32.
32.
32 gram. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So that's 1 mole. So like 1 mole equal 32 gram. What about 125 grams equal how many moles? So first multiplication, 125.
3.9.
Good. Multiply 1 divided by 32 equal again
3.9.
So 3.9 mole. So like this, we have 3.9 moles of oxygen. Yes.
Oxygen. Yes.
Good. So like this, if we say that 2 mole of HgO produces, okay, that produces, sorry guys, a minute. Okay. So 2 moles of that, they produce 1 mole of oxygen. Yes.
Yes.
So like this, we say here we have 3.9 mole of oxygen. Okay. So how much they are going to produce? So 3.9 multiply 2.
7.8.
7.8 moles. Yes or no?
Yes.
So is hard like this?
No.
In our question? So that's the first step. So here in that kind of questions, we need to change the amount in grams into moles. Okay, then we'll
Moles.
find the mole ratio between the reactants and product. Let's answer the number 2. Okay, in the same question or in the same equation, how many moles of mercury are produced in that case? Okay, that means when we have 100. Yep. Let's get
7.8
no. How many mercury do we have? 7.8. That the amount of mercury
mole.
oxide,
Yeah.
which you get it.
Yes.
So we have 7. So we're asking here, how many moles of mercury will be produced by using this 125 grams of oxygen? So using 125 grams, produce how many moles of HGO? 7.8. Yes.
7.8.
So let's find the ratio here. Okay, we said that you could solve it by 2 ways. Even the ratio between the mercury oxide to the mercury, or the ratio between oxygen to mercury.
Mercury.
So which one you want to use?
Oxygen to mercury.
Oxygen to mercury. Okay, so we said that 1 mole of oxygen, once it produced, how many moles of mercury will be produced?
2 moles.
2 mole. Good, 2 mole of mercury. Okay, so like this, how many oxygen already is provided by 125 grams?
3.9.
3.9. So we have 3.9 mole of oxygen, which means how many moles of mercury will be produced? 3.9 multiplied 2 divided by 1, 7.8.
7.8.
Is it hard like this?
No.
Any hard question?
No, thank you.
So that's, guys, the third way, okay, or that third kind of calculations that could be done, okay, in stoichiometry, that you already know the mass of a substance, and you're required to find the amount of the other substance in moles. So we're supposed to convert the mass into number of moles, then find the mole ratio between the two substances, and continue that problem. Any hard question here, guys? Any hard question?
No, thank you, Mr.
Okay. So then, so this is the mass to mass calculation, but we're gonna make it next time, and then we're gonna practice. Guys, be ready. Next time, inshallah, in the beginning of session, we're gonna have some like a book quiz, okay, small quiz that to ensure that you know the different ways of calculations. Because actually, I feel that everyone just listening and you don't participate. So we need to ensure that you get the info. So tomorrow's session, inshallah.
مستر هو بس
Yes.
احنا من يوم الثلاث ليوم الخميس مستر أسامة يعني مدينا permission ان احنا ما ندخلش اونلاين للناس اللي داخلة امتحان الاكت يوم السبت.
Okay, I know that's you're talking about. So you have an act, exam. I know that's next
Yes.
Saturday. So we're talking about tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Okay, by the end of your act, okay, or ACT exam, I'm gonna wait to the next week. Then starting from next week, actually, we're gonna have a kind of large book quiz that estimate each single info that we studied. Okay. Okay,
Yes.
guys. Okay. Thank you and goodbye.